Hello, people. It's me again. I know. Just bear with me for a little bit and we'll get through it together. So, I know any sane person, if they want quality journalism, doesn't go to Huffington Post. But this one article I found on Huffington Post was so above and beyond even what they normally publish that I just had to make a video about it and I had to bring it to other people's attentions. So I'm going to be reading the article to you and responding to it along the way. And I'll leave a link to the article in the description. So, here we go. The title is The Disturbingly Different Responses to the Disney and Cincinnati Zoo Tragedies. Tragedies. And it was written by Rainier Maningding. Rainier Maningding. Apparently that actually is a surname. And after that it says, copywriter, ungrateful millennial, Wii Fit trainer. So that gives us an idea of this person's mindset if they are a self-prescribed, ungrateful millennial. So, this week, at the Disney World Resort in Florida, a 2-year-old white boy was killed by an alligator. Last month, a 3-year-old black child fell into a gorilla exhibit. Two similar tragedies, two disturbingly different responses from the public. I can't argue with that, first of all, because there were two disturbingly different responses to from the public. If you look at it, when the child fell into Harambe, the silverback gorilla's pit, the first thing that you saw all over Twitter was tweets from black people about how the gorilla had been killed for white privilege, to protect white life, and how it would have been different, and they tried to blame it on white people. I even have some of the tweets here. And Issa Ibn tweeted that gorilla was taken from its homeland, put in captivity, and then killed to preserve white life. That sounds familiar. So, he is first of all equating himself as a black person and all black people to a gorilla. And then saying, once again, killed to preserve white life. Carl L. Stein tweeted, that gorilla was black, unarmed, and 17. Hood Intellect tweeted, killing an endangered gorilla at a zoo for a white boy's safety is white privilege. If the boy was black, they would have found a tranquilizer. Funny how the boy was black and they didn't find a tranquilizer. That was the initial response to a black child falling into a gorilla pen. And the initial response to a white child being dragged into the water by an alligator was the parents and everybody. You didn't see anybody blaming a thing on a race. Because it was guaranteed, it was a white person. So nobody... The response was standard. The response was really no different. People alerted the authorities. A search ensued. Well, a search had to ensue with the alligator because they had to find the damn thing first. While Harambe was just in its pen. His pen. So... different circumstances, but the responses, considering the difference in circumstance, was relatively the same. So moving on, yes, it was disturbingly different responses. When a black child fell in, it was blamed on white people. When a white child gets eaten by an alligator, nothing. He goes on to say, But this isn't about gorillas and alligators, nor is it about news media describing Matt Graves, the father of the white child, as an employee of a tech company and board member of the Chamber of Commerce, which he is, and these are facts. Any news publication that published that about the father of the white child was publishing facts. Those are established facts that he worked that job and held that position in the Chamber of Commerce. And then it goes, while depicting Dion Dickerson, the father of the black child, as an absent father with a lengthy criminal record. First of all, I did some extensive research into this, and every single article I could find that mentioned anything about Mr. Dickerson's criminal record mentioned that, yes, he did have an extensive criminal record, including kidnapping and drug trafficking, but that he had since turned his life around ever since the birth of his eldest child, and was actually a good father and doing good. That his entire Facebook page was nothing but posts about pictures of him with his wife and his children, and him posts about how great his job was going. He was turning his life around. And every article that mentioned his criminal past also mentioned that aspect. So it was never mentioned in any source that I ever came across that he was an absent father. So that's just an outright lie right there. That's libel against Dion Dickerson on behalf of Huffington Post, technically. But they can get away with it because they're claiming that other people said that, even though no other source did. He says, no, it's not about that. This is about our country's obsession with invalidating, patronizing, racializing black parents. All black parents. Take a good look at how we talk about black parents in the news and across social media. So he immediately jumps topic, and it's no longer even about the two attacks anymore. This article is now completely and entirely about blacks being oppressed and how whites are evil, evil people inherently because of it. Gives examples, white America invented the welfare queen caricature to depict black mothers as lazy and opportunistic while slut-shaming them with myths of multiple fathers. I'm sorry, but if you don't like a stereotype, then stop fucking perpetuating it yourselves. Because black people do. That stereotype, that caricature, as he puts it, has basis in reality. I can English, honestly. In reality. So, it's, once again, blaming it on white people because we made a caricature out of something that actually exists. And yes, it also exists with white people. There's white welfare whores out there too. I've met plenty. But I've met a lot more that were black. And that's just my personal experience, granted. But I have met welfare whores, as I call them, of multiple races. And most of them were black. It's a fact. The next example is... Give me a second, fucking thing. White America, we constantly joke in our movies, TV shows, and YouTube videos about absent black fathers. Again, if you don't like a stereotype, stop perpetuating it. Single-parent households, single mothers, are the majority among the black population in the US. It is notoriously fact. The statistics prove that that is the majority. There are less black families with the father and mother still together than there are black families where the father is not present. You cannot argue with statistics. Next, just a few months ago, we shamed Will and Jada Pinkett Smith because their son Jaden Smith was seen wearing a skirt. People questioned their parenting and placed blame on their association with Scientology. First of all, I remember when that was news. And I don't remember anybody at all shaming anybody over anything. All I heard was how brave Jaden was for coming out as non-binary or trans. I saw nothing about a tie to the lunacy of Scientology, which is a completely different topic altogether anyways. But I saw nothing. So once again, as far as I can tell from every news source I've seen, is that this Rainier is once again outright lying. In print, it's libel. Next, when Mike Brown was murdered by Darren Wilson in 2014, people shamed Mike's father for raising Mike's mother, shamed Mike's mother because his father wasn't there, of course. Shamed Mike's mother for raising a thug and never gave her the opportunity to mourn the loss of her son. Well, I don't think anybody specifically shamed her for raising a thug. I think she was just ashamed because everybody was pointing out how much of a thug her fucking son actually was. Because Mike Brown was a fucking thug. And because before he got shot, he had robbed a place. Robbed a place. That is a thug. Continues, no more examples now, on with his ranting. All of this bullshit, in all caps, is a way to disprove the humanity of black parents, to prove that black people aren't responsible for themselves or their children. By doing this, we validate our legacy of oppression towards black people. Our Mr. What was your fucking last name again? Maningading? Our? Yeah. It's, yes, all of those stereotypes that are based on fact are ways that white people oppress black people. Continues on. In the eyes of white supremacy, of course he couldn't help but throw that fucking buzz phrase in there. It's not even a buzzword, it's a buzz phrase. Who cares if we gentrify black neighborhoods and push out black families? Who cares if we zone black children into schools that are horribly underfunded? Who cares if we provide inferior health care to black children? Who cares if police officers murder black kids? That... I'm tired of people taking class-based problems and making them about race just because, due to their own actions, certain races make up the majority of that class. That's all I need to say about that. I'm fucking sick of it. It is not a race issue, it is a class issue. There are plenty of white people that are in the same predicament. Before I burst a vessel in the face. In the eyes of white supremacy, he says again, because black parents are bad parents. His assumption. They don't deserve those civil rights. They don't deserve to eat, to be taken care of by a physician, to study at a decent public school. Nor do they deserve to live. So these are his assumptions, and all I can see here is what must be basic psychological transference. He feels this about black people, and so he feels the need to transfer that onto others, as in every single white person in existence. He says, funny, white people are mortified about this 2-year-old being eaten alive by an alligator, yet during slavery, white people fed the local alligators black babies. First of all, last I heard, that was an allegorical bit and never actually happened. I would like to see proof otherwise. If you have it, if you actually have proof, like legitimate proof that white people fed black babies to alligators, please put it in the comments. I would love to see it. I would love to be proven wrong. If you have it, give it to me, show it to me, and if it's logical and it's grounded, I'll accept it. So I guess outrage over black lives has a statute of limitations, is how he ends it. So white people are mortified about this 2-year-old being eaten alive by an alligator. White people are also mortified by a black child falling into a gorilla pit because of the potential danger. At least that child was alive because it happened at a zoo where the animal was easily there to be put down. Whereas with the white child, they spent hours searching for the child and the alligator responsible. 6 alligators that I know of were euthanized during the search. And when they finally found the child, he was dead, and but fortunately still in one piece, so wasn't even eaten. But yes, it is a fucking tragedy. And I'm sorry, but that's a tragedy that happened within the last week, and he's equating it to slavery. Fucking slavery! As if slavery actually still exists in the US. It fucking doesn't. Slavery was abolished 200 fucking years ago. If you don't understand that, then maybe you're the fucking racist. If you can't accept the fact that slavery no longer exists in Western culture, then you're a fucking idiot. You're like regressive fucks. Regressive fucks. But that's about it. Basically a clickbait pile of shit with a title that's supposed to draw you in about something concerning the 2 attacks by animals recently. And instead it's someone with a name, I'm not even sure what race he is. He looks like he may be Asian of some sort. It's honestly hard to tell from the picture. I wish I could put it up on the screen, but without a computer I'm incapable of doing so, otherwise I would have put excerpts from the article itself on the screen. But this is the best I can do with what I got. And that's about it. The racist fuck is basically trying to pin everything on white people. It's a clickbait article. Leave it to HuffPost to go above and beyond in their anti-white propaganda and just the publishing of complete and utter shit journalism. If you liked this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I've actually made it above 10 now, amazingly enough, so let's see if we can get it up to 15. You can also follow me on Twitter at Tartan Sandpaper, and other than that, I'm out. Have a good day, you fucks.